So today we are here with Father Gary Schexnayder. It's October the 25th, 2024, and we're blessed to be able to sit down and reminisce a little bit about Father's experience while at St. Edmunds. And with that, I'll turn it over to Father Gary and ask a few questions, if I may, Father.
You're more than welcome to ask Bill any question you want.
Thank you so much for being with us. It's so great to see you, and you're actually looking pretty darn good, I think, Father.
Well, for my age and my circumstance, I'm blessed.
Yes, for sure. Keep counting those blessings.
Oh, I count them every day.
Father, tell us a little bit about your trek from Opelousas down into Lafayette to be the pastor of St. Edmund's Church.
Well, the trek began with an interview with Bishop Flynn in early August of 1989, when he asked me to go to St. Edmunds and lead the community there to build the church. And he was very supportive and encouraging, and he wanted me to keep him abreast of what was going on in terms of the meetings and decisions made and how the community responded. And the response of the community was not 100% to build a new church. Some were very content to remain in the family center. They felt building a church would drain the resources and make the community just poor on having to pay the bill and the note on the new church. And I think they came to see they were 100% wrong. The new church created more opportunity to do works of charity, and the amount of money that the church was able to give to support the poor and the needy and the missions after the church was built was more than they did before the church was built.
I can tell you, Father, I was there with Allison and our family as parishioners since 1980, and I was also on the building committee. I don't know if you remember that, but I was on the building committee for the church, and it's really easy to see the before and the after. The before, like you were saying, there were some naysayers. Most of the parishioners, I think, were all for it.
Very, very supportive.
Very much so. And then once it got built, it was very, very nice church. It was a beautiful church, and it brought people together big time.
It brought them to center their faith in worship of God, and the new church permitted them to have a sacred space that the family center really just did not have. And one of the indications of that, one Sunday morning I'm getting ready, the new church is not built yet, it's just a sketch. And I walk into the family center and I smell the odor of barbecue hamburgers that we had the night before. There was a social and a gathering.
Yes.
And there were some hamburgers made and built and cooked and eaten, of course. So we smelled that during Mass. And there's nothing wrong with hamburger odor, but not during Mass.
Right.
We need a more holy odor than that.
Mission accomplished, Father. It was well done.
And the church was first used in 1992. Father Tom Dowling, the first pastor, said the first Mass in the new church on the feast of Our Lady of Blessed Mother's birthday, September the 8th, 1992. And that's many years ago. And the new church has served the community beautifully. There were some beautiful building designs, a few problems, but they were attended to. And Father Gill did a good job in keeping up the church and maintaining it like it is now.
Yes.
And I think Father Campion is doing a good job too in taking care of the resources and the building of the church and the building that is being used. And of course there are more buildings now. The CCD building, the administration building, and the atrium. All that is a follow-through from the first beginnings of the church way back when.
You know, Father, you mentioned Mary, Blessed Mary, and there was a seer from Medjugorje, Ivan, who came to the parish, and during his stay at the parish, he was in the church, and he actually had an apparition inside the church. So I like to think of the church as you were saying, how it was somewhat consecrated to Mary. Mary blessed us with her presence inside that church during that apparition. I think that's an awfully special thing to have happen to our parish.
Oh yes, and the devotion the devotional side of St. Edmund's Church is really beautiful, not only to Mary, but First Friday, Adoration, and a lot of Cursillo people were involved in the initial grouping of St. Edmund's, and now the Acts Retreat is doing a good job in strengthening the faith of its parishioners and making it more vital and more significant.
You're absolutely right, Father. It's a viable parish. We're very blessed. Father, can you tell us a little bit about the Knights of Columbus formation and the Boy Scouts will serve there at St. Edmunds?
Well, I can tell you more about the Knights and the Boy Scouts because the Boy Scouts were pretty involved by the time I got there in 1989. It's one of the parishes in the diocese that has the most involvement in the scouting program at St. Edmunds. And I was honored once or twice to be able to be involved in where Boy Scouts become Eagle Scouts.
Yes.
I was able to give the sermon and the talk at several of those beautiful honors. So the Scouts were very involved with, I nurtured and encouraged them. We helped them with the sausage po' boy deal in the beginning of February every year. And we let the Scouts lead in the pledge, often at church for occasions, for patriotic gatherings. But the Knights of Columbus were not in existence at St. Edmunds. There was no big effort to get the Knights organized. Well, I was able, with the help of several of the Knights, who were Knights in other places, to become involved in formation of the KC Council at St. Edmunds. And the KC Council is doing great and is one of the better KC councils in the state of Louisiana.
Father, you know, we had a guest speaker at yesterday evening's meeting, and he was not a part of our night community there at St. Edmunds. However, he does see Knights all over the state of Louisiana, and he mentioned, like you just said, that he is very impressed about the sheer numbers and the work that the Knights do, and the auxiliary, by the way.
Well, the auxiliary is very supportive. They work hand in hand with the Knights. The ladies work well with the men, and it's more like the Knights of Columbus and auxiliary almost together.
Yes.
That are able to do the good things at St. Edmunds that are so important for the community.
Tomorrow we're going to have a ministry fair, and I know you know what that's all about, so we're going to have the opportunity for more parishioners to become involved within the parish work, and as they come out and we showcase the ministries, hopefully we'll be able to have some people sign on and go to work for the parish as well.
Oh, yeah. The more parishioners are involved in the ministries of the church, the more vital the mission of the church is accomplished. It's not just the church is not just Father and the deacons. It's the parishioners and Father and the deacons. It's a family spirit and a family unit that makes the difference in the community's success as a true representation of the presence of Jesus in the world, in the lives and ministries of the parishioners, in their own home life, of course, within their family, and in the community in which St. Edmunds is part of the Diocese of Lafayette and effective in so many ways in serving and helping the community. And some of the parishioners at St. Edmunds have been involved for many years, even before my time, in the ministry of the church and in the outreach. And I think of somebody like Miss Nita McGoffin, who has done so much, and Miss Lita Briggs, who has done so much to help the church and communicate the mission of the church by their ministry, by their example, and by the way they live their life so beautifully, faithfully to Jesus.
Absolutely right, Father. Yes.
Yes.
And I can say with, I think, 100% confidence that the parishioners were blessed to have you as their spiritual leader within the parish during the time that you were there. And I can say that with 100% certainty, that I say it with a clear conscience, and I say it enthusiastically, that we were blessed to have you during those days. And we're still blessed to have you, but during those days especially.
Of the blessings I've had in my life, surely one of them was to have been asked by Bishop Flynn to not only go to St. Edmunds, but to help the community build the church. And when my time will come to be judged by the good Lord in heaven at my demise, before he judges me, I'll say, remember, God, I helped build St. Edmund's Church. So cut me a little slack on the side and give me a break.
I'm sure he will,
Yeah.
Father.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good God.
Oh, he is. But I was honored to lead the community, and I tried to give my example not only by helping out, cleaning up and getting ready for the dedication, but to support the new church. We had to work hard at financially, raising more and more money through the offertory, and that increased considerably with the new building and the new church. And I tried to be a good steward by being a tither, which I still am, and I still support St. Edmund's Church. My heart is there, and my spirit and my limited resources are part of St. Edmund's support.
Thank you,
Right
Father.
now, yes,
That's
sir.
terrific. That's a fine example for all of us to follow. Very much so.
Well, it's one thing to talk about support the church, but it's another thing to do it and
To walk the walk.
To walk the walk and not just talk the talk. But I support St. Edmund. I'm unable to do even writing the check, but my brother helps me with that. So that's a good thing.
So, Father, I know we talked a little bit, and we mentioned it earlier, about your love for the parishioners of St. Edmunds, those who were there during that time, and the ones that are still there, and the ones that contributed and moved on to other places, and maybe some of them even moved on to heaven. Maybe comment a little bit about that, if you will.
Well, the spirit of St. Edmund is a very contagious spirit for good, of wanting to do your ministry well, not only in supporting the church or attending, but being involved in some of its outreach and some of its ministries. And I think it's important that some of the parishioners who've moved on to other places, they've continued that good spirit wherever they've moved. They're able to support and help in whatever parishes. Many of them in the Lafayette area. Some have moved on to further places, and they've all continued their involvement in the church, and in some way are supportive. And the example they had at St. Edmund has made a profound difference in their life, not only in what they have done, but what has happened to them. They're much more supportive than they would have been otherwise.
That's very true, Father. And I think you know that we're getting ready to tomorrow have a dedication of the administration building.
Well, I heard about that, and it's not something I ever wanted to have done.
Of course.
And I wasn't in the planning business on who decided to name the building that, but I'll just let it go.
And well, and I know that you're very humble in that regard, Father, but I think in all love to you, the building being dedicated in your name is something that's very good for our parish. So we're going to try and play this little clip during that dedication, so maybe you want to reach out and say a few words to the people who are lucky enough to be there and hear all that.
Well, I'll be praying for the dedication, of course, here, but I won't be able to attend because physically I'm just unable to do so.
Yes.
But I will pray that the building will continue to be a sense of ministry, of outreach, of not only dedicating it to me, but being involved themselves in some way in being involved in the ministries of St. Edmund's Church. The best honor they could give me is to be more involved and more committed, more supportive, and to give a good example themselves of belonging to St. Edmund's and having the buildings we have, because the resource of the buildings is tremendous. And I know the community was very supportive in the late 1990s when the church, when we were deciding to build, after the church had been built and substantially paid for, we needed a CCD building and a new administration building. So that's what happened, and it's been a great...
It's been servicing the parishioners very well, Father, all these years.
Good. And I hope it continues to be an example and an instrument of grace and growth and ministry outreach for all the parishioners who attend the Mass, who are using the CCD building, some for their children, but those who are the teachers and ministers, and those who are involved in the daily operation of the church, the secretaries, the bookkeepers, the administrators, who take care of the business of St. Edmund, which is considerable. But I hope and pray that it's a blessing and an inspiration for them for many years down the road.
I can tell the viewers, Father, that you really still have it up here 100%. I'm so proud of you for that. And I don't know if I could take you in arm wrestling. Yeah, I probably still can't take you in arm wrestling,
I will
Father.
give you a little challenge. Yes.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time to visit with not only us but the parishioners of St. Edmunds, and you know your love for them and their love for you will live on forever. I think, Father. We will keep you in our prayers, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, it was an honor to be interviewed. Thank you for doing it.
Absolutely.
And I'll be praying for the event. Y'all are in my thoughts and prayers. And of course, y'all put me in your prayers because that's what I need the most. With my health issues and struggles, prayers are the most important gift that you can give me.
Rest assured that you're getting a lot of prayers, Father.
Oh, good. I know that. Thank you, Bill.
Absolutely.
Good.
My pleasure to be with you.
Oh, good. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
God bless y'all.
God bless you, Father.